Yeah. Okay, I talked a little bit about the communications perspective, and I think that I don't know how that went in your company when you did the vision and mission and the new strategy communication and formulation, but often it's very much communication to our brains, our heads, our rationale in our company. It's very nicely formulated new strategies, and often it's top management that had done it together with management consultings or something like that. And then it's very hard to explain. It's also very hard to understand. And what we tend to help companies with a lot is actually the more hard perspective, the people perspective. I mean, why should I be a part of this? Why should I follow this company? What is it important for me? I mean, the more sort of the heart, you have to speak to the head, and of course the heart. You have to get people with you. You have to, if you can, they have to be in love a bit with the company or with the way they work, because that's where we want to move. I mean, we want to get it. We want to be a part of it. And too often it's very nice, polished strategy, communication that is not really targeted to the employees or the leaders. So I think if we think about how we can sort of combine these two worlds, because of course we need to combine them, but in any changes, often the top management is in the brain's perspective, and everybody's thinking about what does that mean to me, and am I going to be one of them that are going to be laid off, or how is that going to change the way I work, and so on. So address it and use it in the story, in the way we communicate, is actually what we help companies do a lot these days. Yes? And then, I don't know how it is in your company, but I think that we have a lot of satisfaction surveys in our companies. And of course we want satisfied employees, but that's never ending. I mean, and in these days, we know that what we need is committed employees. We want committed employees. So ask what is needed for the employees to be committed in their everyday life within the organization. What's important for them? We always measure the satisfied employees. And I think we have to move on, because some of the companies, some of you may have too many of the fat, satisfied cats. I don't know, maybe not. I think that we have been through some big changes and some crises that meant that we might not have that many anymore. But we really need the committed employees. And what does it take to have committed employees? We know. They want to have challenges. They want to have great colleagues. They want to be part of a success. They want to have great leaders. So think about, if you could just move on to the next slide. Maybe I could ask you, what does your CAP combination look like in your company? I mean, do you have engaged employees? And what do you do to have engaged employees? Because we know engaged employees are giving us the results we need on the bottom line for us to operate on the longer term. So maybe you can reflect a little bit about what your CAP combination look like in your company. Yeah? Okay, and then I think that maybe you know all this, but in terms of communication, and you also mentioned it in the beginning, that lack of communication and lack of involvement is necessary. And this, I'm sure you know, that studies shows us that everybody in this room, everybody, goes through these different stages whenever we are approaching any kind of change in our private life, in our professional life. And again, often we communicate to people because we think they are in the drive phase. We think that they are with us. We think that they have been through all these different stages or phases. So we communicate about, yes, this is what we're going to do. And we tend to forget or not accept that we might be in the chaos phase, or we might be in the conflict case where we are in conflict with ourselves in terms of, do I want to do this, or it's difficult for me, or how to cope with it. And the point is that, I mean, there's no way, again, that we can do the sort of internal one-way communication to meet all these phases, or to meet all these stages of the people that we communicate to. It's like in this room. I mean, some of you think maybe don't want to listen to what I'm saying, and somebody think, yes, I'm going to do it tomorrow. So we all go through these different stages. And the only one who can address his or her communication when we go through change is, again, the nearest leader, because he knows his people, and he knows where they are. And he knows that maybe this department and this time of the change we're going through, they are pretty much in the chaotic phase. So that's a different communication task you then have, or you have to involve them, you have to talk to them, you have to discuss with them, you have to make a workshop with them to get them with you. And maybe somewhere else in the organization, they are maybe where they are started to acknowledge and ready to drive. So this is also a matter of how to plan your communication, and how important it is to accept that we go through these phases. Of course, you know that, but we tend to forget it. And we do it, both at a personal and professional level. Yes? And this is just to emphasize that this poor leader, the first line leader, or the line managers, that he really he has a lot to do. And he's also our very important communication person. So help him instead of kick him. So we really need to go out into the organization and help these frontline managers, and we do a lot of training, and I'm sure you do that to the clients that are here today, or the companies that are represented today, but we tend to forget, because they are kicked of all sides, from HR, from communication, from IT, from business support, whatever. So how can we help these middle management, middle leaders to be able to cope with all this that they have to do and implement in their own department? Yeah. And then I think you also said it, that whenever we work with change communications, I think sometimes it's a bit boring, and sometimes it's really at a very high level, and it's a global level. So these are just 3 sort of key words that I always use to share with everybody, that of course we have to think about it, has to be relevant, otherwise we don't want to pay any attention. Why not make it inspiring? Too many workshops with too many very boring flip overs. If we want to be closer to our clients, if we have a strategy that we want to be closer to our customers or our users, invite them in and do the workshops together with you. I mean, use whatever is in your strategy and get your people, your employees inspired, because they are the ones that are bringing the change to life. And then we have to remember, I mean, all these documents, 40 pages of slides that top management are always presenting, we don't remember it. It's too hard to remember. So we really want to make our communication easy and simple and not so complicated. Yes, and the final 4 findings from the survey, of course, the planning part, we have been touched upon that, and the engaging employees, that one-way communication is not sufficient, and the leaders, our leaders drives effective change. So those are the absolutely 4 major findings in our surveys, and also goes with the experiences that we have with the work with our clients. So now back to what I started up with. So please talk with the person next to you. So I hope you got at least a little bit inspired. And maybe there's always something that we need to change. So what will you change tomorrow? Just 2 minutes with the one sitting next to you.